Justin Kinner, Casey McAllister, Elliott Rearing, Jacob Tissett with you here. The mood with the Bengals has been a little down for obvious reasons.
That's
1-4. Defense stinks. Offense really, really good. I'm watching national shows. I'm listening to Greeny this morning. They're talking about their MVP favorites, and I'm here to tell you, as one of the biggest Bengals haters out there, I would not even be able to try to find a way to not name Joe Burrow as an MVP favorite if their record was not 1-4. I think we can all agree on that at the end of the day, no matter what. But that's just that's the somber stuff you guys are dealing with the month and some change in. But as we sit here right now, how we feeling about this Giants game? How we feeling about this matchup? It's Sunday Night Football. All eyes are going to be on this matchup, no doubt. When we come in on Monday, is it going to be this loosey-goosey vibe that we have right now? Or is it going to be another somber Monday that we've had so many of 5 weeks in?
Yeah, I'm certainly optimistic. I hope the Bengals are able to get the job done. I think they will. Some good news. Good news might be a bad way to phrase it, but news that is positive for the Bengals. Malik Neighbors dialed it back in practice yesterday, said he practiced less. It was reported that he practiced less yesterday than the day before. Consecutive DNPs, but regardless, dialing it back in the open portion of practice with concussion protocol is usually a good sign on a Thursday that you're not going to play on Sunday. And the Giants don't exactly have a ton of playmakers. Malik Neighbors is incredible. Devin Singletary already trending towards out. So with both of them out, I hope this defense can have a breakthrough game and really make some changes. We talk about the players-only meeting and how it doesn't matter unless you make changes. Hopefully they make those changes this weekend. I'm not exactly terrified of Daniel Jones beating us with Darius Slayton and Wan'Dale Robinson. Malik Neighbors does absolutely scare me on the outside, but without him, I don't know that they have the weapons to score what I think the Bengals offense is going to score. I am very worried about this Giants defensive line. I think the interior of this Giants defensive line, and honestly the edge rushers as well, with Brian Burns and maybe Kayvon Thibodeau, although it doesn't look like he's going to play either. Those are great players, and regardless of how good the Giants are, that pass rush is really, really good. So the offensive line has been great so far. They're one of the best pass-blocking offensive lines in the league. Hopefully that keeps up this weekend against the pass rush, especially on the interior. That's even better than Baltimore, and we saw Baltimore have some success getting towards Joe Burrow.
I think again, I kind of said it yesterday, if the Bengals don't win, you lose the benefit of the doubt. And right now they have no benefit of the doubt, despite how good Joe Burrow is, despite how good our offense is. The Giants are a beatable team. They're a bottom half of the league team. I'm not going to sit here and say they've got a bunch of talent. They've got a couple really good guys. And outside of that, they have nothing. Their quarterback is nothing. Their wide receiver room outside of one, nothing.
Right.
Their running back room, again, Jacob likes that room more than I do. I think it's nothing. And we can sit here and talk about, do what we got to do. The Bengals need to win this game, not by 3. They have to win the game by a lot of points. I need to see something here. I need to see signs of life. If they go out and win this game, they're losing the whole game, but somehow find a way to claw back and win, that's great. And I'm going to sit here and cheer for it on Monday. And I'm going to say, yes, we're 2-4. Season's still alive. And I will. I will do that because it would be true. But at some point, they have to play like the Bengals that we thought they would be coming into the season. Now, the issue is they might not be that team. They're 1-4 right now. That notion might be lost. But I was watching some of the sports shows on various other networks yesterday, and they all have the same sentiment. You can't write them out because of how good Joe Burrow and the offense is. You can't do it. If the Bengals go out and they score 35 and the Giants score 15 or 17, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be very, very happy. I'm going to call the season back on. That's what I'll do. The defense has to show signs of life against Daniel Jones and a backup running back. They have to. So that's what we have to work with. And if Malik Neighbors doesn't play, there's zero excuse to lose this game. None. No offense to Darius Slayton and Wan'Dale Robinson. But come on. You have to stop somebody. So this is the game to do it. Blow them out. Win the game. I know Casey mentioned it on the show last night. But it is a it is a system situation with a lot of public money coming in on the Cincinnati Bengals, and that usually doesn't play well. There might be a replay review that goes against us there because all the public money's on us. But it's a game you have to win, and you have to crush them. Stop winning games barely. Let's go out and beat a bad team by a lot of points. You kind of did it against the Panthers, 10 points. I'll go 10 points a blowout. If you win this game by 10 points, I'll be happy.
Yeah, I mean, I said it on the show yesterday on Chatterbox Bengals that it feels
it's a great point. So if you want to
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. You got something to say?
It's an
Kevin?
inside joke, folks. It's an inside joke. Back to Casey McAllister, everybody.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the Bengals, if they want to have a good chance at winning this ball game script comes into play big time. They really cannot afford to get down on this team. This is probably the best defensive line they've gone up against all season long.
For sure.
For sure.
For sure.
And they can get after the quarterback. They would put their offense in a really bad spot if they were to give up a couple touchdowns early on and then the offense hasn't started to click yet. It would be asking a lot of Burrow to be perfect throughout the rest of the game, which we all know Burrow can be, at least we think.
Yeah.
It would just be really, really tough. This particular matchup is actually pretty tough, if you ask me, because it's strength on strength. Their defensive line is really, really good. Our offensive line has been very, very good. They have some emerging defensive stars in their backfield. Deontay Banks right now is one of the better corners in the league at the moment. He's going to have a tall task with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
I was reading somewhere that they're going to put him on T.
Yeah,
and
double
double
Jamar. That's what I would do.
I saw that on Twitter.
I'm going to ask a question, Casey, and this is not me being a smart aleck. If this is a tough matchup for the Bengals, is every matchup a tough matchup for the Bengals?
I don't think there's an interior pass rush as good as the Giants in the NFL.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I think it's
who
a
are the
bad
teams
matchup.
right now, if you played the Bengals tomorrow, given the state of our defense and our team, who are the easy matchups the Bengals shouldn't have issues with?
I think the next 3 weeks are easier matchups than this.
Yeah, I agree with you. This was
Browns,
the game
Eagles, Raiders. I think are all 3 easier matchups than this. Maybe not Eagles, but I think Eagles is close.
Jacob had the Commanders as that game before the preseason, that was the game that we would lose. This is the game I circled because of Dexter Lawrence. And I saw what happened with Matabike and how important that final sack that he had that basically killed that final drive in the fourth quarter. That was Matabike going up against Ted Karras.
Yep.
And you're basically forced to double him every single play. He's basically – no one can ever compare to Aaron Donald, but he is the closest thing at this moment in the league like an Aaron Donald, where you have to put a lot of focus on him. You have to just put a lot of resources into defending him, and it's not a good matchup there. That being said, I have no faith in Daniel Jones either.
Right.
Like if Malik, like you said, if Malik Neighbors doesn't play, there's no excuse. There's no excuse. These guys are too good. Let me rephrase. We think what we thought about this Bengals defense is that they're talented enough that they should be able to take care of business with without one of their top weapons. We'll see how that ends up playing out because Daniel Jones actually looked pretty good. It was probably his best game versus Seattle. Now, I do think Seattle's a bit questionable. Their defense just not very good.
Yeah.
But that being said, I neither is our defense. So. I don't know, man. I feel like this should be a game that they win, but they have to have the right game script, and that's really tough to do in the NFL. It's hard to manipulate the game script in your favor. So we'll see what they can do when they if they win the coin flip. Hopefully, they take the ball and go down and score.
No.
You want to do the
always
2-for-1?
defer. Always 2-for-1.
Always
2-for-1 with this defense. Always.
I'm on the side of Casey there. I want the ball and go score. And if we can get a lead, hopefully they have to keep throwing. And if they have to keep throwing without Neighbors, I like our chances.
What I want them to get the ball. Like let's say it's a touchback at their own. What they get about the
Of course, it would
their
be
own
a
25.
touchback because
I would kick the field goal right from their own 25. Just be aggressive early.
Well, I'd probably run it 3 times first to drain the
but
clock
if you kick it on the first down, you have a couple other chances.
So you can fall on it, and then you're only at your own 25.
Let's see
then
if
you're out of field goal range.
Let's see. I mean, the Commanders tried it. The Commanders tried that method.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can kick field goals every single drive. And it worked for them, to be fair.
That's true.
They kicked 7 field goals and won the football game.
Everett makes a good point. We kind of did that in the 21 playoffs.
Yeah, we did.
Every fourth quarter, it was just
get the
let's
ball.
have Evan McPherson kick the field goal right away.
So let's try it. Let's try it. No, let's try to not have Joe Burrow play at all and just cross the 50, and you're in field goal range. So kick it.
Joe Burrow, 250 passing yards, 0 touchdowns. Evan McPherson, 31 points on field goals.
Yes.
But at
can't
that-
happen, right?
30
on
points.
field goals.
But at that
33
time,
points, maybe.
33 points on field goals.
33.
at that
33.
time, you had a defense that was forcing turnovers and getting stops. Not as fun of a game when that's not happening. Look, Daniel Jones, I don't think strikes fear into anybody, but obviously it's not about more of what Daniel Jones can do. It's more of what the defense will allow them to do.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Daniel Jones is going to kill him on the ground, but 11 carries last week. He's sometimes sneaky good on the ground. He could pick up.
Well, he'll trip if you let him run far enough.
That was like record speed, wasn't it? Like record speed.
21 miles an hour or something.
But he ran the ball 11 times last week. Obviously, I think it's just take what the defense gives you. But from your perspective, how'd the defense do with a running quarterback in Lamar last week as far as containing him?
Honestly, fine. I mean, the damage that Lamar did was all behind the line of scrimmage, scrambling to throw, which Daniel Jones doesn't exactly strike fear into me in that sense. He can certainly run if lanes are opened, but if Lamar Jackson's only going to run for 40 yards, I would assume Daniel Jones will be well below that.
We come in, and the defense makes him look like some of the other quarterbacks as of late. That's a problem. I think the one thing that hurt the Bengals' bad defense is you're playing a quarterback that I think is better than we thought at the time in Jaden Daniels. Lamar Jackson is we know how good of a quarterback he could be, but that's a good quarterback that was taking advantage of a bad defense.
Yeah.
I don't know how good Daniel Jones is in regards to being able to take advantage of a bad defense. And that's the thing, too. It kind of goes back to Elliott's point. It's like at the end of the day, you're talking about this was a game you circled because of the defensive line for the Giants, Casey, as far as what they could do to the Bengals offense. But at the end of the day, at some point, the defense, it's getting some reinforcements back. We know that. I just can't see Daniel Jones winning a shootout with Joe Burrow. I have the Bengals in this one. We'll get to our picks later. I have the Bengals getting this one. There's just no way, in my opinion, that we saw Jane Daniels do it. Jane Daniels is an MVP candidate as a rookie. Lamar Jackson's won 2 MVPs. He's big in those moments. We know that. He can outduel Joe Burrow in a shootout. Daniel Jones can't. I just can't see that. And if he does outduel Joe Burrow in a shootout, that's not an indictment on Joe Burrow, then this defense is way worse than what we had thought. I haven't given them the benefit of the doubt. I've just chalked it up to you have a ton of defensive deficiencies, and you're going up against really good quarterbacks. But you allow Daniel Jones to look like those other two, now there's no forgiveness for any of these dudes. Anarumo, anyone on the defensive side of the ball. I don't care how good Hendrickson is. Everyone's head's on the chopping block. There is no way in hell Daniel Jones should have a performance like what we saw from Jaden Daniels or Lamar Jackson when it comes to making those big plays through the air. I have zero faith that Daniel Jones can win a shootout with Joe Burrow. I just can't envision them losing this game. And if they do, would it be one of those, the offense doesn't have one of their best games? The offense comes out and allows the Giants to hang around. That could be an option too, which I'm not saying will happen, but that would be typical bad luck for everyone who's tuning into this team. Man, the defense shows up, they force turnovers, they get situational stops, and then the offense comes out flat. And as to your concern, the defense neutralizes Joe Burrow and the offense a little bit.
Yeah. If they lose this one, the season's it's over. It's done. There's no maybe the offense will wake up, maybe the defense will figure it out. At 1-5 with losses to the Patriots at home, to the Commanders at home, and to the Giants, it's over. There's no coming back. And my question to you guys would be, when was the last time a team like this? And I know we're all playing in hypotheticals because the game hasn't happened yet. But if they were to lose it, if they were to be 1-5, when was the last time a team with this high of expectations just won? I mean, if they lose, they're going to be on pace to win 5 games this year, 6 games. When would be a team like that had such Super Bowl high expectations and came out and just looked abysmal? Not because of health, just because they are terrible. And I can't think of one. I don't know when the last time that happened was.
Was it the Eagles with Michael Vick after that first season?
Yeah, they were pretty bad.
Maybe that one?
Bad too.
Maybe that one? Maybe one of the Saints teams? I don't know.
Nate Seltzer says Jets last year. That's not bad, but that was an injury.
That was an injury. I think when the whole team is healthy and you have Super Bowl expectations, I can't think of anybody that just falls flat on their face right from the jump and lose. Because usually there's a stretch, right? Usually there's a stretch where that team wins like 4 or 5 in a row, and then there's the collapse, kind of like the Eagles did last year.
Right.
The Eagles absolutely collapsed down the stretch.
Steelers 11-0 a few years ago.
That one?
20 season, they epic collapse down the stretch.
Epic collapse.
Yeah.
I've never seen a team like this have such high expectations and fall directly flat on their face right at the jump of the season and then just never figure it out. I don't know if there's been one. So this is a massive game, not only just for the hopes of this season, but just for the hopes of the future of the Bengals, man. Because what are the expectations next year if you lose this? and then you lose the next week, and you keep losing, and it's just a free fall, and you win 6 games this season. I don't know what the expectations would be, because we know we have a top 3 quarterback. We have a top 3 wide receiver room as of right now, but we're going to lose T. Higgins or Jamar Chase. We're going to lose somebody.
And there
Perfect
you go.
timing. So I don't know. This is a massive game, and they need to show up. They need to blow this team out. They need to blow the Giants out.